Let's talk a little bit about the Maxxis RZR AT811. So I got this tire for my Subaru Forester, which is got a 2-inch Ironman lift on it. I went with this tire because it comes in right at 30 pounds, so it's one of the lightest all-terrain tires that I've been able to find in this size. It also has super aggressive lugs. The lug pattern is pretty beefy. It is a 13/32 tread depth, which is really good for a all-terrain tire. It is also 3-peak snow rated, so it is a softer rubber compound. Now I'm going from the Wild Peak AT Trail to this, but I'm going to use the AT Trail for a little comparison. So if you look at the tires right off the bat, they're both the same size, which are the 265 or 225 65 17. But as you can tell right off the bat, the Wild Peak looks like it is wider than the Maxxis, and in fact it is. The RZR, the tread section of the tire is only like 6 3/4 wide, and on the Wild Peak AT Trail it is almost 8 inches wide. So that's going to be a big difference as far as traction is concerned in wet weather. The skinnier tire, I think, is going to do better in wet, muddy conditions. And there's a lot of talk about skinnier tires doing well altogether on rough terrain. So that's another thing to think about. Also, the Wild Peak is almost the same height as the Maxxis RZR, and the Wild Peak is down to 7/32 in the center, 5 and 4 on the edges, of course, where this is brand new at 13/32. So there's not much tire comparison in different height. So that's another thing to think about when you're going to the RZRs, is if you want to go up to maybe a 235 versus a 225, you could probably get away with doing that, since this tire is shorter and narrower than the Wild Peak. So that's just a little option to think about. I do like that staggering of the tread blocks on the edges. This is going to help with cornering. It's going to help with throwing mud and getting better traction at low pressure. This is going to give you a little more bite. Also, it has very good sidewall protection. The sidewall lugs come down about halfway down the sidewall versus the Wild Peaks that just barely come off of the casing right there on the edge. So that's something to think about too when you're looking at getting new tires. If you have a Subaru, you can probably go up to the 65, because most of the Subarus come with a 60 series tire. So that's something to think about. So I hope the video helps you decide on a new tire, but I would definitely look at the Maxxis RZRs. With a 3-peak, that softer rubber is going to definitely give you better traction all around. It might wear down a little faster, but I think traction is definitely worth the wear. Another thing is they are also a little noisier from what I have heard from most all-terrain tires, but that could be the way these tread blocks are designed with these knife-shaped edges like this. They're not as close and connecting as these are, so that's going to give you a little more noise, but it is also going to shed dirt and mud a whole lot better. Anyway, appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and get out there and get in the dirt.